Hi everybody, welcome to Bowtie Quilt Shop. Today what I'm going to talk about is the Bowtie Quilt. Now this is part of a beginner's series of quilts that we have available here in the shop. And I'm hoping that these tutorials will go hand in hand with the patterns to help those of you that are starting out on patchwork make it easier. So the first one here is a tropical look with bright flashy colours, and we package this as our tropical gâteau. It's 20 10-inch squares, and we've used approximately 3/4 of a yard to a yard of white background fabric, a Bella Solid, plus a border. We've showcased this with the empty spaces here using appliques to give you an idea of how you can change this quilt depending on who you're giving it to. Another option with our Bowtie quilt is that we have the more traditional autumnal look. And in this one, this also is using 20 10-inch squares. It's called our cinnamon gâteau. And in our empty space here, rather than using appliques, we're going to be doing more customized quilting to fill that empty space. Now, let's get started, and I'll show you how to do this very simple and easy block in just a few minutes. Okay, now we're going to put the bow tie block together that we previously looked at them. So I've taken some of these colors and we have the block here. And this block is the finished block. I have a new cameraman and a sound engineer who are probably, it's going to be their first and last day helping today. So anyways, this is the block. Now, this is what the block is composed of. All right, so we have 2 light squares, 2 dark squares, and these 2 small squares. So let's begin. Now, we're going to take our 2 light squares, and we take the smaller square, and these are all in the instructions that come with the gâteau. So we're now going to go over to the machine, and I have drawn a line across the small square from point to point, and we're going to sew along that line, and that is going to give us the folded corner technique. Now I'm using a stiletto here. I use an applique stiletto. You can use your seam ripper, and this helps me keep this nice and steady, and I can get right in there to the needle so we don't have that kind of wavy technique. Now I'm going to draw the line, and here's a little tip. When you're drawing lines on your squares, we're going to take, looks like we have some visitors here with the flies. That time of year, I'm sure you can hear them now, buzzing by me. If you've noticed, I start in the middle and I work my way out to the corners so the fabric doesn't drag. So now we're going to put this in. This is a great thing to do chain piecing. So you would have all of your squares, your small squares, you would draw the lines diagonally across it. You could sit and have that done and then just sit and chain piece all your squares. Now, it doesn't matter what corner you sew them onto. It's all the same. We're going to push the fabric back, and I'm just going to finger press them here for the sake of speed, and make sure that they go up corner to corner. See? So now we have a folder. This is very similar to making a snowball block, that folded corner technique. We're going to remove the excess fabric 1/4 of an inch away from our sewing. And now we're going to attach this to our larger block. And once again, it doesn't matter which way you're going. They're just going to line up your corners. Using a quarter of an inch seam. It's really important to keep your finger right there all the way until it goes through the needle, so you don't get that wavy technique where it kind of swings out at the end. I keep my finger right there against the foot of the machine. That's what keeps the fabric straight all the way to the end of the seam. That's really important. And here we go. And there we have our block. And we're going to sew it together now. So you'd press your seams to the square block. And as I get close to the seams here, I'm going to stop and put my needle in the down position. And I'm going to check to make sure that my seams are nestled and locked together. Holding it down here with my stiletto. I'm going to put the needle in. There we go. Making sure that those seams are going in opposite directions. And perfect. And here we go. It's as simple as that. Making a bow tie block. And these bow tie blocks can be arranged in a variety of different ways. You could do them all in one direction this way, or you put them together like this. And of course this would be a different color than this. Different color here, different color here. It would be a fantastic way to use up some of your smaller squares and scraps. Thanks, and we'll see you again with another video.